Good day, good day. We're out for a nice walk today in the Pacific Northwest.
It's not raining, it's blue skies.
Yeah.
It's a little nippy, but hey, I'd rather be here than the middle of Wisconsin. Sorry about that for whoever you are that lives in Wisconsin. I know you're freezing your heinies over there. So
yeah.
Anyhow, the snow has lifted and we are down on, again, the Columbia River waterfront. Today we are actually right in front of us is kind of an old concrete pad that dates back probably to the Second World War. We're really not all that far away from where the Kaiser shipyards were putting out supply ships during World War II. And so pretty amazing, but right now we're standing around a bunch of rocks. So if you can do the 360, Brenda, and
yeah, this is really cool. This we used to walk
don't hit
down
me with
here
the phone. Thank you.
all the time, but there's a new mooring place.
Boat launch.
Boat launch.
Yeah, docks.
It's really cool. We used to walk down here when we first got married.
It was empty.
It was empty, you're right. And now it's just so cool. But I mean, to see blue sky here in the Pacific Northwest is just really
yeah, there's a lot of people out cheering today.
Woohoo! There's boats out there, and the Portland International Airport's right across the Columbia River here, and yeah, so it's really a beautiful day. So we thought we'd just kind of share with you on our walk. And as always, I tell Gil, so what do you want to talk about today? He goes, I don't know, just start filming.
Yeah, Here we go. So actually what I do want to talk about is I just got the chance. Brenda was off doing grandma duty last weekend. And so I don't normally get to watch war movies while Brenda's around because she doesn't do war movies.
Yeah.
But I got the chance to kind of dig out an old war movie that I had seen years ago, The Band of Brothers, which was produced probably, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago maybe. For war movie buffs, let me know what you know on that movie. But again, it was documentary, and then the dramatization of battle scenes of the 101st Airborne Easy Company that dropped in behind enemy lines on D-Day. Anyhow, what kind of came to me is that there was two things that took place. Watching the movie kind of grossed me out and gave me even more appreciation for our soldiers. So for those that are our military veterans, again, thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you.
And for those that have been spouses of service people, thank you for your service. But I think as I reflected on the movie, as entertaining as it was and as gory as it was, there was a line that came in from one of the commanders, one of the battle combat commanders, sergeants, lieutenants, or whatever, and he kept on telling the guys, when you're in combat, don't stand still, keep moving forward, even if it's hunched down or whatever, don't stand still. And sure enough, the guys that stood still and kind of they got picked off. And even those that were kind of moving forward, and unfortunately in some of the battle scenes, they got picked off as well. But the guys that ran kind of in serpentine and kept low and kept moving forward, even during some of the most ferocious battle scenes that they shot, survived. And they tended to have kind of this sarcastic humor, dark, but that also helped them monitor their trauma, I think, just to kind of be able to put it someplace. Again, thank you for your service. I can't even imagine that. And as they interviewed some of the the guys that were at the time probably in their 80s, they'd get choked up. But
well, it's like your dad.
Yeah,
my
dad.
He'd never talk
about it.
World
but
War II.
Then it kind of hit me a couple days afterwards. I was in a counseling session, and I picked up this phrase from a very old friend of mine, Don. Last name Italian, Carboni, and little Carboni. But Don was about 5'5", and he told me that he was an air paratrooper. That when he started as a paratrooper, he was about 6'5", and the reason why he got so much shorter is that each time he hit the ground with all that weight on him, it compressed him. He was quite a joker. Anyhow, but one of the things he taught me, and I don't know how to say it in Italian, so if you know how to say it in Italian, would you please get back to us? But he instilled that comment to me, always forward, probably 20 years ago. And so I'm sitting there watching the movie, kind of going, hold on a second, Don, I don't know if he was in the 101st, but he was an airborne, paratrooper during World War II, and just a real dear friend of the family, and just a complete joker, but always had a great attitude, and I always appreciated that, even in some of the darkest hours of my life, going through, the great train wreck, as we refer to it. And so here I put those two things together, from the Band of Brothers, from a real friend who said, always forward in Italian. I don't know how you say it. But then I reflected on how important it is to keep moving forward. And I frequently tell my clients when they're walking out the door, even if they're stuck, even if we didn't accomplish anything, I just kind of try to encourage them with that word, always forward. And even if that means a half a step forward and keep your head down so you don't get shot, that's actually success.
Yeah.
And so I think that was kind of where we started talking about this always forward mentality, that in our day and age, we tend to want to retreat. And sometimes a retreat's not a bad idea, but to enforce...
Don't you say you kind of regroup when you retreat?
Yeah, you can kind of reflect, but a lot of things that I like to tell guys who are first responders as well as military people is that a retreat is not a defeat. Because a lot of the military people we've met is like, no, they're trained to keep moving forward. You don't admit defeat in any way, but therefore the response of in day-to-day life and in counseling and coaching with people, sometimes a step back is not a bad idea, and then begin to move forward again. Because in some of the circumstances that we're faced with, we are not guaranteed to be comforted all the time. God wants to comfort us. He gives us those promises that comfort us, but He's not there to make us comfortable. And I think with that perspective,
I want to be comfortable.
Yeah, but to be comfortable may mean that I'm going to stand still. And if I stand still, I'm going to get shot.
Yeah.
But if I keep moving forward, I will be comforted even in the difficulties. So there's kind of the thought for the day.
Well, and I think as you apply that to marriage, we say, we even sign our book, always forward. But yeah, like you said, I think sometimes it's okay to stop and regroup. And sometimes you might have to rewind the tape a little bit and say, okay, this pattern, this dance that we have in our marriage, in our relationship, isn't healthy, and it's not benefiting not only us, but what is it doing to our kids?
Yeah, it's not moving anyone forward.
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes we do have to stop to regroup so we can go forward. And sometimes it just takes a little bit of tweaking in a relationship to be able to do that.
Right.
But why don't we do that?
Pride, fear. I think fear. I'm comfortable with my uncomfortableness.
Or the unknown. I always
unknown.
think too.
Yeah.
I know the bad stuff, and I don't like it, but I'm afraid of what's ahead. So my fear or pride stops me from going forward.
Moving forward. Yeah, because that's uncertainty.
Right.
But that uncertainty, when you really, and I think that's the key thing, and often is that when we can trust in God, when we can trust in one another, or rebuild that, it makes that possible.
Yeah.
And to do it together as a team, even more possible, because that way if you fall down, I can pick you up, and if I fall down, well, you might just leave me there, but...
No.
Go ahead, get up.
I've been working out. I can pick you up. And that kind of leads into what we've, discovered through the years too, is that, in those times where you have to stop and regroup and go to that scary thing that's ahead, that can be painful to stay where you're at. That's what gives you the mojo that connects you guys. The pain connects you guys even more than, having a nice walk today. Or, something like
I do
that.
appreciate the nice walk.
I do too. We need that
It's the tough
break.
stuff that we go through. But I mean, if you do have one of our books, and for some reason we didn't write always forward in it, give it to somebody else and order another book from us, and we'll make sure that we...
I think we've always signed it.
We've always signed it always forward.
But now I know the history of why you said that. I mean, I always thought, oh, that makes sense. That's nice. But now there's more meat behind it.
Yeah. It made more sense the more I... And it was kind of a surprising thing even to myself when I was like, hold on a second. That's where that came from. But then I didn't realize, oh, that's right. Don was a paratrooper.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Do you remember any of his other one-liners? He was so funny.
Oh, gosh.
That's a legacy that he left behind. This little Italian guy who was, know, a big figure in our city in Vancouver here. And,
well, he was kind of known as the little godfather.
Yeah.
So if you knew of Don, you never forgot him, because he always had a one-liner tucked away in his billfold.
He'd go up to strangers and just give it to them.
Start talking to them. You know, they were one-liners.
But what a neat legacy. So that brings us back to, you know, what legacy are we
I
all
remember
leaving?
one. He said, yeah, if you're public speaking and your mind goes blank, be sure to turn off the volume.
That's good.
You know, that's really good. You know, because if
we should think of that, because I don't know.
Yeah, just kind of
keep going.
Yeah, turn off the volume, because you don't want to make sure that something really stupid comes out of your mouth.
This is true.
I've been there.
Yeah, me too.
I've been there. Yeah. Well, what did I say again?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, anything else you got?
Yeah, we did a wedding yesterday. That was kind of fun. We had been coaching a couple that the woman of the couple was going to be an instant mom, and the dad had 2 sons from a prior marriage, and just a really precious time, and just a really neat time to be able to go through the pre-counseling and then to be able to do the ceremony both was just a double blessing.
We traveled a lot of different roads with them, which is, gosh, it's just such an honor to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Really cool. You know, I'm really into visual stuff, and it was so cool because the bride said, yeah, a couple years ago I was Yellowstone Park somewhere and picked up these round geodes that look like sticky rock geodes.
Yeah, bumpy rocks.
Bumpy rocks. So she used that as part of the ceremony yesterday. She bought these 2 geodes because she has 2 stepsons now, and so Gil, they were able to work into the ceremony to show that sometimes on the outside our families can look like these geodes that are all crusty,
dull, bumpy, crusty.
They got issues.
Yeah, got issues.
But then when you take the pressure to crack it open, what's inside?
When you start working and open the geode up, then there's crystals inside, and those crystals are usually very beautiful and very colorful. So, you know, I had a very dear friend of mine who was actually doing the music, Jim Liptak. If you know Jim Liptak, give a high five for Jim. He is an amazing, amazing musician. But anyhow, he goes, yeah, we were talking before the ceremony, and he goes, yeah, you could say that, you know, this marriage is, you know, because it was right after the vows and stuff, and it was this in-between transition time of this memorialized
thing.
And
that they were going to be a rock for each other.
And they were going to be a rock for each other.
Solid.
So he says, yeah, you could just open up with the first line and say, yeah, and this couple's getting their marriage started on the rocks. And I just thought, oh, maybe not. Maybe not. So anyway, I kind of passed by that. But
what an honor, to be a part of that. And that was really
trains
cool.
are going by. Anyhow, we really had a good time with that and such. So that's kind of it. We're heading into the next few weeks with some really neat opportunities. We'll be doing an R&R next week in Longview, Washington.
Restored and
Remarried. And then the following week presenting in our local church, facilitating the presentation of Laugh Your Way to a Better Marriage. So I'm really excited about that.
That'll be fun.
And then the last weekend of the month, we're headed down to Dallas to, again, serve our country by serving guys and their wives and their guys who were military, veterans.
Operation Heal Our Patriots.
Via Samaritan's Purse. So again, we're just really excited about that. So
anyway, lots of good stuff coming on, and we'll continue to share as we learn more too. So,
always forward.
Always forward.
And remember, if you ain't got the marriage,
you ain't got nothing.
All right, enjoy your day wherever you are. What were we going to